Management spectrum means from the viewpoint of the management, from management viewpoint, the things can be divided into four major P's. P. People, product, process and project. So these people who are involved in the development, people who are involved throughout the development life cycle. Product, the product that you are developing. Process, the process that you have adopted, and the entire project. So these four P's are very important from the management point of view. Now the order that we have seen, people, product, process, project, this is not this is immaterial. I mean, you can say product, process, project, people. Okay, the order is not important, but the four P's. Now, why this is important? Because the manager, it has been experienced earlier that the manager who forgets these four P's, the chances for his project to get success is very rare. We'll discuss how this 4P is very important and how they affect the success rate of the software project. Now, why this people is very important? People. Because every organization, you name a good organization who is involved in the development of the software, that organization needs to continuously improve its ability to recruit good people. Successful organization, the basic pillar is good people. The software companies which are involved in development of a software products, they need to improve their quality in hiring the people. They need good software engineers. They need good people to be hired. So that if the good people are hired, the second point is like the companies needs to provide them a training, needs an overall development for those people, those they have hired. Then they need to motivate those people. What will happen if those good people are not motivated? Not motivated means they'll work 2 or 3 years, 4 years, and as soon as they get a good opportunity outside your company, they will leave. So when they will leave, they will take the experience with them. Whatever knowledge, whatever investment, whatever the training that you have imparted in those good people, in whatever efforts you have invested in hiring them, in developing them, okay, so those experience have lost when these people leave the company. So software project management, the first pillar is people. So why people is important? Because the product is being, because the product, process, project, whatever P you talk about, it is basically driven by the people. You need good people, you need motivated people, you need to develop those people, and you need to organize and retain the workforce. You need to retain the workforce, you need to maintain them. You need those people to grow with your organization. If the experienced people will leave your project, will leave your organization, then definitely it is one of the biggest loss a company suffers. Now the people factor is so important that the Software Engineering Institute has developed a people capability maturity model, People CMM. Now, what this model tells about? Now, this model defines the various key practices. What are the various key practices related to the people factor? Those are staffing, how to appoint a good staff, communication and coordination, how you can establish good communication and coordination between the people those you have recruited, work environment. Work environment also plays a very important factor in retaining the employees. Performance management. Again, you need to appreciate the people who are working really hard and providing better output. So performance management. Training. Definitely whatever task you are going to assign, you need to provide them training, and definitely when you are training them, some certain amount of expenditure, certain amount of you are what you can say, the quality time and money you are spending on the people. Compensation. Competency analysis and development. You need to analyze certain people may be good in certain specific areas. So if you want to if you need those competency, if you need those expertise in certain projects, then that competency can be analyzed and further expertise training can be provided to those people. Career development. People should see a progressive career in your organization. Like they should clearly see the short term perspective, long term perspective, that I may be able to get promotion to up to that particular, say, a manager level or the above manager level. Work group development, team culture development, and various other factors. So all these factors, according to this capability maturity model, all these factors are very important in considering this people factor, a good people factor in your organization. The product. Now, before a project can be planned, product objectives and scope should be established. It is crystal clear. Before you start planning a project activities, what is your objective and what is your scope? That should be clearly established. Let's consider an example like you are developing a banking product. So your objective and your scope should be established. So scope and objective would be like, say, you want to develop a core banking solution, or you want to develop a net banking application as well. You want to provide a mobile application banking as well. What is your objective and what all things that is considered in your project and what all things that you are not going to answer. These things should be very crystal clear before you start planning your project. Alternative solution should be considered and technical and management constraints should be identified. You think this is the one route to achieve the target, but what could be other routes? What could be other possible ways of doing it? You must explore all the alternative solutions available with you. You need to discuss these amongst your planning group. Technical and management constraints should be identified. Technical constraints, management constraints should be identified upfront. Technical constraints related to the technology. Whether you will be able to develop whatever you want to develop using the technical expertise you have. Maybe technical methods, technical tools, technical ability of a people. These all are technical constraints. Management constraints. Management constraints includes providing sufficient number of resources, sufficient number of programmers, allocating proper budget to your the team, and other management related constraints we need to explore before you can start the planning. Now, why this alternate schedule, why this considering the technical constraints, considering the managerial constraint is very important? Because if you don't have this information, it is really impossible to define reasonable and estimate the cost and the effective assessment of risk. A realistic breakdown of the project and manageable project schedule is not possible. So without this information, if you try to plan, how will you estimate proper cost? Suppose you need an experienced programmer for this, and you don't have that expertise in house. You need to hire one person. Then definitely the salary of hiring, salary of training, salary of the cost that you are going to add, that additional cost, you need to clearly plan. You need to estimate it before. Effective assessment of risk. If you know the constraints well in advance, you can identify the risks. That we know that this is not going to happen. This particular resource is very difficult to be provided by the organization. I would be in a position to anticipate the possibilities in advance, and I will be able to identify and assess my risk, and I will always try to keep my risk portion minimum starting from my planning phase. A realistic breakdown of the project task, or a manageable project schedule that provides a meaningful indication of the progress. Now, yesterday we have seen a bigger module is there. We try to compartmentalize into a smaller module. It is a first step towards project scheduling. And before you start scheduling a project, you do the planning activity. So if in planning activity you are not very much crystal clear, then you may end up in doing inappropriate compartmentalization, inappropriate breakdown of the module. If inappropriate breakdown, inappropriate compartmentalization is being done, then all those interdependency and assigning of the objective, assigning of the task and outcome, all those things will mess up. So the planning is very important. Now, as a software developer, you and other stakeholders must meet to define product objective and scope. This is where they called it as a meeting. A term is there, meeting, team meeting. Team meeting. And this particular term, that is stakeholders, it is also very important. Stakeholder. Who are all the stakeholders? Stakeholders means the producer and developer and consumer of the information. Producer, consumer, developer, client, all those parties which are involved from initialization of the concept to the delivery or the usage of the product is nothing but a stakeholder. So client, your team member, your team manager, developer, tester, your user, end user, all these entities are nothing but as stakeholders. They must meet to define product objectives and scope. They all should not meet. I mean, the representative from these all groups should meet to define the objective and the scope. Objective identify the overall goals for the project from the stakeholders' points of view without considering how these goals be achieved. Basically, this point tells you that from various when various stakeholders they come for a meeting, then they all will share their idea, their understanding related to this particular what you can say, the aim of the development, aim of the meeting, what is their understanding. So they will identify basically what is needed. What is needed. They do not discuss at this stage that how you are going to implement it, how you are going to get it. Basically, this meeting is to decide on what is needed. How, that we will discuss later. Scope identifies the primary data. What is the primary data? Primary functions, behaviors that characterize the product, and more important, attempts to bound these characteristics in a quantitative manner. Scope. What is the scope? When we say a scope, scope means this is, let's say this is one application. This is scope. Everything that I draw inside this is part of my software, and everything which is outside this, it is out of the scope. It is out of my consideration. So what is your primary data, from where you are going to get the data, how you are pre-processing your data, how you are storing the data, what are your functions, how you are going to access, how your user interface will look like, what are the various accessibility options, and attempts to bound these characteristics. This is very important term. Attempt to bound these characteristics. I mean, here the stakeholders will say that this is the work that is going to happen, and these are all things which are out of the scope. Because discussing and exploring all these alternative solution will help you to select the best thing for you, best approach for you, for your objective. Your objective is clear in your mind. You have explored alternative solutions to meet up your objective, and whatever solution that you have selected after exploring all these alternatives, that could be the best approach for you. Given the constraints imposed by delivery deadlines, because your objectives, your deadlines are there, your budgetary restrictions are there, your personal availability, your team availability, your expertise in the team is your problem, technical interfaces is your problem, provides the framework from which a comprehensive plan for software development can be established. It provides a framework using which you can prepare a detailed level of plan for your various software development activities. A smaller number of framework activities are applicable to all software projects regardless of their size or complexity. A smaller number of framework activities. Various framework activities we have also discussed, like how you going to build it, how you going to modify it, how you going to port it. Various framework related activities, planning, related to planning, are applicable to the software projects regardless of their size or complexity. So these framework activities are mostly in generic in nature, regardless of the technology that you are going to handle, regardless of the type of product that you are developing, regardless of the size of application that you are targeting. Okay, so these framework activities can be applied in general, and the process can be established for various software development modules. A number of task sets, like tasks, milestones, work products, quality assurance points, enable the framework activities to be adapted to the characteristics of the software project and requirements of the project team. Finally, umbrella activities such as software quality assurance, software configuration management, measurement, overlay the process model. Umbrella activities are independent of one framework activity and occur throughout the process. Last one is the project. The project. So basically, why we are doing this discussion? Why we are studying the software engineering subject? Because we want our software development project to be successful. Now, what is the definition of successful? Successful means it should be developed within time, it should be developed within the allocated budget, and it should be usable on the real-time machines. It can be ported out. Yesterday we have discussed an example of ship, है ना? एक शिप मैंने बनाना है, समय पे बनाना है, कॉस्ट के अंदर बनाना है, लेकिन उसको पानी में चला ही नहीं पाए तो फिर कोई फायदा नहीं. समय पे बनाना है, बजट के अंदर बनाना है, क्वालिटी बनाना है, पानी के अंदर पोर्ट करते आना चाहिए, चलाना है, उसका मेंटेनेंस आसानी से होना चाहिए. ऑल दिस एक्टिविटीज, ये सभी एक्टिविटीज सही से हो, इसलिए हम ये कर रहे हैं, and it is nothing but a project. So there was one study carried out, which says that a study carried out on 250 large software projects between this year 1998 and 2004 by the scientist Mr. Capers Jones. And what he found that 25 out of 250 projects were successful in achieving their schedule, cost and quality objective. Only 25 out of 250. About 50 had delays or overruns below 35%. 50 had delays. And 175 experienced major delay or they were terminated without the completion. So you could imagine the success rate here. You could imagine the success rate of a software project here. From these figures, the importance of planning, the importance of the software engineering, importance of estimation, importance of risk identification, importance of all the phases of software design or modeling, the importance can be established. Nowadays, the success rates for the present day software project may have improved. Yes, it has improved in today's life because of more sophisticated ways of handling the projects have arrived, more sophisticated way of analysis, what you can say, the modeling, coding and training, more sophisticated way of this project management have been developed. That's why the success rate is also high. To avoid the project failure, a software project manager and software engineers who build the product must avoid a set of common warning signs, understand the critical success factors that leads to good project management, and develop a common approach for planning, monitoring and controlling the project. All these activities are important for the manager and the engineers who are dealing with the software modules for the successful completion of the project.